I have been basically non-stop building only residential rental lots ever since the new pack came out, and I am having a great time doing it. But also I realized that I should probably build something else from time to time. I feel like it's maybe not the best idea to just flood my YouTube channel with various townhouse builds. So I went digging a little bit and looking through the list of different lot types in The Sims, trying to figure out what I wanted to build, and I realized that I have not built a vet clinic in ages. I don't even remember when I last built a vet clinic, and they're decently useful lots to have because my Sims pretty much always have pets. Well, I guess I normally just have them go to the vet once and buy a whole bunch of wellness treats and then just keep them at home for when the pet gets sick so I don't have to go back to the vet. But vets are fun, okay? So we're gonna build a vet clinic today. And don't worry, next week I've got another townhouse being built for you. So let's just dive right into this and get started with the build. So I'm making this on a 30 by 20 lot in Brindleton Bay. This is actually right next door to where the regular vet clinic is. The normal vet clinic that just comes with The Sims 4 is, in my opinion, a little bit ugly. And it's also on a really giant lot. And I sort of envisioned this vet clinic being a little bit smaller. So I actually started building it on a 40 by 30 lot and then bulldozed it and brought it over here instead. You'll probably notice that a few times. I did a lot of bulldozing with this. I only left one of them in the video, but it was a real trial and error sort of situation when I was first beginning. I didn't really know what I wanted it to look like. I had seen this picture of a real life vet clinic that was sort of symmetrical on two sides, and it had this cute middle section with a shingle roof. And I took that shingle concept and I really ran with it. I basically based the entire thing off of me wanting to have some shingle accent colors on the walls. I didn't really have any other plan going into this aside from the shingle thing. That was like the only concept I was working with. Well, I guess I had the shingle idea and then a vision of a little courtyard in the back. So I've kind of made the building almost like a U shape. It really isn't the biggest of vet clinics. It's only got 2 exam rooms and 1 surgery room. I was actually originally planning on trying to build some sort of apartment upstairs, and then the build didn't end up having room for an upstairs, so I just didn't do one. But that was a thought that I had. It just didn't really work out that way. It's nice to have the apartment thing when you're playing as the vet. It's similar to running a restaurant or like running a retail store in The Sims 4, where it's almost nice to have a private space that's blocked off from customers so your Sims can just kind of stay there. It's not technically possible to have it be like a separate apartment or a separate unit. It's just like an upstairs with a locked door and you just never leave. You can't live there, but you can stay there permanently and just not leave the lot and go back home. So if you wanted to do something like that on a place like this where you're like owning the vet building and running it, it's actually kind of useful, but I didn't do that here. That is not something I added here, but I did consider it. I was more so building this lot for me, for when I have to bring my pets to the vet. I don't really often play with the vet career, although now that I think about it, it might be kind of fun to do again, because it's been a while since I last did it. So let me know if you all want to do a video on that. We could always do like a long form video again and like really play with the vet career. I did that last month when the rent pack came out. I posted like a 2-hour long gameplay video with it, which is a sort of unique thing. I don't really have a lot of time or ability to do that often, especially because I stream. I'm live on Twitch playing The Sims like every day, so that's kind of like the long form content, you know? It's hard to post a super long YouTube video and stream every day, but it's fun to post long YouTube videos on occasion. So let me know if we should do something like that. But you can see right now we're kind of making some progress with like the color scheme and the vibes that I'm going for. This is a little bit different than I maybe normally would do, and I kind of thought it was ugly at first as I was like first making it, because I was trying to use this dark wood accent color. I've got like the seasons doors and I have those shingles from growing together, but then I also wanted to have a lot of white accents as well. So as I was putting it all together, I was like, wow, this does not match at all. But I swear, once it's done, it comes together, okay? It's a trust the process thing. Again, we have to give me some time to make it work, but I think it looks kind of cool in the end with this color scheme. I also used a cute yellow wall paneling around the outside. I considered doing blue, but then I was like, if I do blue, I'm gonna get bullied because like all of my builds are blue. And then I tried green and I liked it, but it was kind of giving like mint chocolate chip ice cream with the green and the brown. And then I tried yellow and it matched one of the little vet signs perfectly. So I used that instead. One of the cool things about cats and dogs is that it comes with a lot of nice community lot signage. There's a whole bunch of options. It has a couple like floor signs to put in the fronts of buildings. It's got some ones that fit on the wall that you can use. And then it comes with a ton of different decals that you can like swap between them. It's almost like a set. There's like a blank sign and then these little stickers that you can put on. And there's a ton of different stickers. There's even ones that aren't vet clinic related, which is interesting because this pack only comes with vet clinics. But there's like a little ice cream one, so you could do an ice cream shop. Like there's all kinds of really nice signs from cats and dogs. I'd argue that it's probably the best pack as far as signs go, which you wouldn't really expect. I don't really associate cats and dogs with like signs for community lots, but I used obviously that really adorable little vet clinic one. There's a couple different vet ones, but I liked this one the best because it was like a couple little animals. It's a dog and a cat with like a heart above them. And the cute thing is the heart is like a stethoscope. I liked it. I thought it was adorable. And there's a couple other little doors that come from cats and dogs. There's one plain door. It's like plain and glass, but it has the decals stuck in the window. I thought about using that as the main front door, but it's so small because it's just the 1 tile wide, and I wanted to have that big 3 tile wide door, so I didn't do it, but I used it as a side door instead. So just to walk you through the layout of this, on the left side, that's where the front entrance to the vet clinic is. That's where there's like a main door. There is a matching side entrance on the right side, but I tried to make it very obvious that the left is the main entrance by putting all the signs there. And on the right side, there's just a window in place of the big giant door, so it still looks kind of symmetrical, but on the side of it, there's like a side door that goes straight into the like employee area. I don't know how good that is for like normal gameplay because you might see some of the random Sims in the employee areas, but I'm not really that worried about that. Like I don't really care if Nancy Landgrab goes into the employee section. It's all pretty much open anyway, so it isn't really a big deal to me. But I liked the story of that for real life, having the side door there, and then I got to use the cute side door with the decals. And you may be noticing now that I'm trying to do some landscaping. Emphasis on trying. So there's a whole bunch of these really cute little animal topiaries in the game. They come from a lot of different packs too. The base game has a bunch. There's some from Cottage Living, and there's also some from Cats and Dogs. One of the most annoying parts of this is that the Cats and Dogs ones are different colors than all of the other ones. All the other ones match the same shade of green, but the Cats and Dogs ones are a little bit brighter of a green. It was making me really mad actually when I was trying to place them. But at first I thought it would be kind of cool to put all of the topiaries out and like line them up, but it was so green and there wasn't really a lot of accent color or like stuff to separate it from the other bushes. So I ended up changing my mind on that and I just used the cat and dog one. There's like a cute poodle and then a cute little cat, and I put those in the center of the landscaping over there. And then I tried to fill in with some other bushes. I used these Cats and Dogs bushes that I never ever used and have now like rediscovered and realized that I kind of love them. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna be using those all the time from now on. I just kind of forgot they existed, but they look pretty good here. And then I layered them with a couple little smaller yellow flowers as well. They're the Romantic Garden Stuff flowers, and I think they look pretty good over here. Plus, Romantic Garden Stuff is still free. We're getting close to the end of the freeness. It goes away, the sale stops on the 9th of January. Currently, right now, if you're watching this video when I upload it, you can get Romantic Garden Stuff for $0. You can buy it for 100% off. You'll have it forever if you go onto the EA app or Steam or whatever and buy it now for the $0. But that sale only lasts a few more days. So please go do that. Just don't forget, okay? If you're watching this right now, put a reminder in your phone for when you get home or whatever. Just go do it right now. If you're at home, go to your computer, just open it up, buy it so you don't forget. I would hate for you to miss out on the pack being free. Like there's no downside to this. You just claim it now and you'll have it forever. So go now, okay? My First Pet stuff is also free, but annoyingly not on console. I don't really understand why. I think it has to do with their weird like console restrictions because you can't buy My First Pet stuff without Cats and Dogs on console because you can't sell the DLC for DLC. So My First Pet stuff is only free on PC. Romantic Garden stuff is free everywhere. So go and get it now. Okay, I'm done, sorry. We can go back to the builds. I just want to make sure you don't miss out. I'm so worried about it. We're moving on to the inside now, and we're gonna start trying to figure out the layout in here. So it's kind of small inside. The first thing that we have is like a very small little lobby area with the front desk. In reality, in the game, there's not really a need for a front desk. There isn't like a receptionist or anything, but in real life there would be, so I kind of tried to emulate that a little bit. In this front lobby area, on the left side, you'll see like a weird kiosk thing that kind of serves the place of the receptionist in The Sims 4. You just walk up to that and like check in at the vet clinic reception thingy. So I put that right next to the reception desk, so it seems like you're checking in at the desk, but really no Sim is gonna be working there. I also put some cute things like some filing cabinets over there. Above the like reception kiosk thing, I put some empty photo frames. I was considering filling them because I liked the idea of putting up pictures of cats and dogs and like pictures of the patients that come here, but I was worried that if I did that, it would class as having CC, and then if the game thinks it has CC, you can't download it on console. So I didn't want to like break the build for console players, so I didn't put any photos there, but I guess if you played here as the vet owner, you could put some photos up. The only real problem with that reception area is it's quite small and there's not really a waiting room. I considered trying to fit in some chairs in there, but then I thought about my real life vet clinic, the one that I go to with my cats, and they don't have any seating in the reception area. They try and encourage you to wait in your car. The idea is that you like text when you arrive, they check you in, and then you wait in your car until they call you back to come inside. And that way it's like less stressful on the pets because you're not waiting in there with other animals, but there's no cars in The Sims 4, so you're not waiting with your animals in a car, but also your Sims wouldn't use the seats anyway because they just go straight back, so it doesn't really matter. And then if you saw when I zoomed out there, there's like two halves to this. So directly behind the reception desk, there's the surgery room. I put the big surgery table in there, and there's also a bathroom that's public access with just a toilet and a sink. And then on the far right side, there's the two exam rooms. I made one kind of like the dog room and one like the cat room. So I put like all kinds of dog stuff on the dog room and all kinds of cat decor on the cat one. Cats and dogs comes with a whole bunch of like vet clinic type decor. So there's like x-ray scans and like anatomy posters. So I tried to assign those correctly for each room. There's also a tiny bit of space in between those rooms, and I considered making it into a second bathroom for like human access. And then I thought maybe it would make more sense to put a bath in there, which seems kind of weird because it's like a vet clinic, but also you have to bathe your dogs all the time. Often it's like because of the fleas or because they rolled in something nasty in game. And so I put that bathtub attached to the dog room. And then I guess if you are playing as the vet, you could take a bath in there, but mostly it's there for the dogs. The idea is the dogs could use it if you needed to bathe them. And then in the middle of those two sides, we have like the staff area kind of, which we'll get to closer to the end of the video, but I'll explain now just so you're prepared. In that staff area, I have like kind of an office space because you have that vet treat maker machine. So I put that in there. It kind of looks like lab stuff too, so it's good for this sort of thing. And then I also put a small kitchenette. So there's like a fridge and a microwave and some counters. There's a place to eat. There's a desk with a computer. In fact, there's a lot of computers here. I put a little laptop in every single one of the clinic rooms. There's like a small section of cabinetry with like a sink and dog treats and like some little medical equipment and also the laptop. Obviously in The Sims, they don't use that. There's no need for that. The vets do not need to have a computer for any sort of reason, but in real life, they'd be like checking your charts on there and like using it constantly. So I put them in my build, but your Sims don't really need it as much. It's more just there for the visuals. All they really need is the exam table and the surgery table. Like there's very simple requirements for this building. Now that I've done this and I've spent like so much time and effort working on this vet clinic, it's making me feel kind of sad that I never bring my pets to the vet. It sounds so bad, but like when I play The Sims, I just come here because you can buy those wellness treats like I was mentioning earlier. And when you click on the little treat vending machine in the lobby, it sells you all kinds of stuff and it's not even hard to get. You can just come here. You can buy special treats to give them like fancy colored poops. You can buy ambrosia treats to bring them back to life. You can buy aged down treats so that you can just keep making them young again and then they never age. But more importantly, and really cheaply, you can buy those wellness treats. And I don't really understand why they are so cheap because it costs 50 simoleons for one wellness treat. And if you feed it to your pet, it immediately cures their illness. Any illness they have, like if they have like, you know, they turn blue or whatever, like the Rudolph thing with the red nose and the blue skin, if that happens to them, you just feed them a treat and then insta fix. But if you came to the vet to have them properly treated, like by like examined by the vet and everything, it costs you at least 125 simoleons. There's like two options. It gives you a chance for a cheap treatment or an expensive treatment, but they're like 125 or 750. So why would I pay for that if I can just get a wellness treat? So normally when my Sims have dogs or cats, I'll just come here, buy like 10 wellness treats and then keep them at home and then never come back to the vet. But it is kind of cute to bring them to the vet. It's I'm not good with like chores in The Sims. So if I can keep my Sims at home and like skill building instead of having to bring them out here to go to a community lot, I will. And honestly, the wellness treat is like 10 times less stressful than having to come all the way out here for the animal. Imagine if in real life there was just like magic medicine that could solve any and every ailment. I would buy 1,000,000 of those for my cats. I'd actually get a whole bunch of these treats in general. Ambrosia, the ambrosia treat, the age down treats, what I would do to have an age down treat for my animals. My cat is 15 years old. Sorry, I don't want to think about it. Just so we're clear, by the way, when I say I don't go to the vet, I mean my Sims don't go to the vet. I go to the vet. I'm at the vet a lot. The past few months especially, because I just found those cats in the sewer, so I was fostering and then adopted 2 of them. And when you have kittens, you're at the vet all the time because they have frequent booster shots and a lot of frequent kitten checkups, and then they get spayed and neutered, and then they have a checkup after that. So it's just I've been at the vet nonstop. I swear to you, it's every week I'm down there with somebody. But they finished all of their kitten exams and they're spayed and neutered now, so the cats don't have as frequent of checkups. Their next one, fingers crossed, is just their regular annual checkup. So we're through the big busy time now at this point. And clearly I haven't had enough of it, so I have returned to The Sims to get more vet time. Okay, so we're working on the little middle employee area right now. There's kind of 2 rooms to this. There's a front room that's meant to be a little more public facing where the lab stuff is, and I ended up swapping that little office area that's in there for a kennel space instead. At first the vision was to have the office and the lab in the front and then the break room in the back. But when I was digging through debug, I saw those really cute little kennels, the ones that you have when you do adoption events in The Sims, and I realized it'd be really cool to have an actual kennel space here. A lot of times in real life, vets do boarding. Maybe your pet is waiting there after their surgery to be picked up, or waiting before their surgery. You usually drop them off really early in the morning, even if their surgery isn't going to be until later because they have to be fasted. I don't really know what this part looks like in a real life vet clinic because I haven't seen it. So I was kind of just envisioning it as a Sims thing, and so I have one for a cat and one for a dog. I started off by using that metal fence, and I realized it looks kind of scary. I did swap it out for glass doors instead. So don't worry, I'll improve it. But on the right side, we have a cat tree and a litter box and some food bowls. On the right, we have a little space for a dog bed, some more food bowls, and I put some toys in each of them. And then I kind of tried to decorate it with little cat and dog decals as well. I don't think that your Sims will actually use this. I don't think that there's any real necessity for this aside from just looks, but it fills in the space quite nicely and it's kind of cute, so I kept it. And I swapped out those weird chain link fences actually for the greenhouse kit doors, which sounds weird, but the greenhouse kits are full glass and they have a little mesh swatch, and I think the mesh swatch makes perfect sense and it looks way better than the weird get to work ones. The get to work ones look like I was making some sort of jail or something, and that was not my intention at all. I was trying to make a cute and cozy pet space. It wasn't supposed to be creepy. It's funny because this was kind of a last minute idea from my Twitch chat. We had talked originally about maybe planning for this and putting kennels on purpose, but then when I built it, I didn't really have any space, so I was oh, we can't do it anymore. And then right at the end of my stream, they were wait a minute, what if we put one still in that office area? And I wasn't gonna do it. I was oh, I don't think it's gonna fit. And then I tried it. It worked perfectly, and I would argue that it's maybe one of my favorite parts of the whole build. So I'm really glad that I added that in. I didn't really think that it was gonna work. YouTube is really fun, don't get me wrong, but it's also nice to have that live instant feedback versus the comments, because on YouTube, if someone tells me to add that in a comment, it's kind of too late because I already built the build and put it on the gallery. But when it's live, we can do it and also do it instantly. So anyway, if you want to follow me on Twitch, my name is just lilsimsie over there. I'll link it down below for you. I am live basically every day except for Sundays, and we play a lot of The Sims and we do a ton of building. So if you like this kind of thing and you want to hang out with us, it's kind of fun. I know I'm just a little bit biased, but I really like it, so I'd love to see you over there. At this current moment, I'm just putting on some last minute finishing touches around the build, kind of going through and finding things like fire alarms, little dog calendars, posters, all kinds of last little decor items, and we are just about done with the build. So what I want to do now is actually pop back into the game live so I can show you a tour of the finished product. So like I was saying, I built this in Brindleton Bay, the world that comes with cats and dogs, and I put it here on this little 30 by 20 lot. By default, this one is empty, and it's right next door to where the regular pet hospital is. And this is what the finished product looks like. I really love the front of this building. I think that this part with the little topiaries is really cute. And I also found some really nice debug stuff, like this item. This is debug from the For Rent pack, and then this flooring is from Jungle Adventure, and yet somehow the two of them match perfectly. I really, really, really like a lot of the planters and debug from the rent pack. I think it's kind of cool how we have this little walkway here for us, and then where you actually enter is up here on this side. I've got a couple signs to help make it more obvious. And when you first walk up, we've got a little tiny entryway. There's a couple bits of catnip here too. And then you come into the lobby space. This is that reception desk that I was talking about where no one is technically going to work, but I've made it look like someone works here with the files. They've got some pet treats. This is the actual reception desk where you actually check in. And then these are a couple vending machines. This one is the pet vending machine, so you can buy all of the pet treats from there. And this one is a human vending machine, so you can buy snacks in there. This one is from high school years and not Snowy Escape, so I don't think that it can kill you, but I'm not sure. And I guarantee this one will not kill you. But enter at your own risk. Over here, I also have like some leashes, some more dog treats, and some food bowls for the pets. And then you walk through the cute little door with the decal I was talking about into the hallway. And this hallway is meant to be sort of public facing still. You've got the bathroom you can access. This is the surgery room. So we have that huge surgery table. And I didn't want to put too much around it because I was worried about it not being functional. And obviously in real life, you don't want to have like house plants and stuff in here. It needs to be kind of sterile. So we have the surgery table. There's like some anatomy things, and then we have this little desk area. All the desk spaces in all the rooms are the same. Then down this hallway, I put these little paw prints on the floor. I also put a dog door into the backyard, but we'll come back to that part. The first thing you'll come to is that employee area. So we have our two really cute little kennel spaces for the dog and then for the cats. I really like how the decals look in here. I think they look so cute up on the cat tree. And then these things are those little like vet treat machines. They look like lab stuff. So I liked the idea of pretending your Sims could like, you know, check for results for the pets or whatever on those. And then this is kind of that employee break room. So we have the kitchenette area, we have a table, and then we also have a desk, kind of like an office space. This is that side door, so the employees can access it from up here on the side and just come straight in. And then down the hallway again, these are the two exam rooms. We have one that I've kind of designed for cats. So I put the cat posters up. I tried not to put too much in here. Again, I didn't want it to be like too cluttered so it wouldn't be functional. This way there's still plenty of, there's still plenty of space in here, right? We should be okay, right? Maybe, I don't know. I put some chairs too for the pet owners to wait. And then across the hall, we have the dog room. This one is a tiny bit bigger, and they also have a second door into this little bathroom area. Weirdly, the bathroom has cat tile, which maybe doesn't make the most sense for the dog bathing station, but there's no dog tile. So I did what I could, and I wanted to use this in the vet clinic somewhere, so I put it in here. We have some towels and stuff too. And then outside through the back doors, we have a little bit of a sitting area. I don't know how weird that is. Probably you wouldn't have that in real life, but I sort of envisioned that maybe this place offers dog training courses. A lot of vet clinics do that too. They'll have like training courses or like dog puppy training groups and stuff. And so I like the idea of your Sims being able to come and sit out here while the dogs go and do the dog course. I also put a little bit of extra catnip back here. So in total, this place has all of the different catnip types as well. So if you're looking for pet stuff, this is like the place to be. It's covering all of the pet bases. My favorite thing out here are how perfectly these fairy lights fit. These are the toddler stuff pack fairy lights, and I've like scooted them into the wall, and it looks really cute hanging over the courtyard. So I kind of want to build a house like this now where like the house has a little bit of a courtyard in the middle, and then they have maybe a pool or something back here. I really like this area, but that is the fully finished build. Here's kind of an overview top down of the place. On the gallery, it's called St. Pulp Animal Hospital, which sounds really weird. When I show you who Pulp is, you'll understand. This creature, this is Pulp. This is my Sims dog in my Not So Berry challenge, and it is the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life. She's like a pug or something, but like a mix, and so she just looks kind of like an alien at all times. Here, this is another picture. Do you see what I mean? There's just something weird going on with this one, and I've really become obsessed with this dog to the point where I've made Pulp immortal. I keep buying her age down treats. She was born 5 generations ago in my legacy challenge, so she's living with her original owners, like great grandkids at this current moment, but she's never gonna die. I cannot get rid of this dog. I am obsessed with this dog, and my Twitch chat has kind of become equally obsessed with Pulp. And so Saint Pulp Animal Hospital she is immortal, and she is special, so we've named the animal hospital after her. Her name is weird, but it'll make more sense when I explain it. She was originally the pet of the orange generation of the Not So Berry challenge, and so all of the Sims in that generation had sort of like orange themed names. The legacy heir was Blaze, like fire. We had a son named Cheddar, like the cheese, and Pulp, like an orange juice was kind of the idea. But I didn't know when I named her that she was going to become so powerful. But on that note, I think this is probably a good point to end the video. I'm sorry for the Pulp jump scare here at the end. Whenever I stream the Not So Berry challenge, I call it the Pulp fan club meeting, and I put that as my go live notification on Twitch. So now you're in on it, and I assume that you are all newfound members of the Pulp fan club. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, I post builds like this all the time here on my YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one, and I am going to catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. Oh, by the way, this build uses a significant number of Sims packs, like a significant number of them. It even has the bowling stuff pack. I'm real sorry.